Hey everybody, and welcome to the Friday wrap-up on the Streamlined Solopreneur, a short episode where I talk about 3 things: what's on my mind this week, recommended reading, and something fun. This is the show that helps you automate your business so you can take time off, worry-free. And hopefully this curation will help you think more about your systems. I'm your host, Joe Casabona, and here's what's on my mind for July 17th, 2026. I have been thinking a lot about implementing and implementation. When does implementation hinder you? I'm doing Kyle Adams' newsletter Power Up Cohort, and it's been fantastic. As a result, I spent a lot of time over the last 10 days working on a new welcome sequence and just cleaning up the near 10 years at this point cruft in my Kit account. I thought long and hard about this experience, how everything is implemented, and what blockers I had to overcome to get my freshly written welcome sequence out without it being a confusing experience. Ideally, I didn't want to be sending more than 1 email a day, and I wanted to make sure everything got delivered in the order in which I thought it would be. Now, I believe my bias towards action is good. I rarely get stuck in the just need to do it phase. I'm usually doing. Where I do get stuck is the doing it phase, though. I consider the implementation and the long-term ramifications even if something is just an experiment. And maybe in this case, I should have spent a bunch of time on the implementation, but the technical debt of over-engineering implementations of the past that I didn't do or use very much hindered me. An example is last week I rolled out a new lead magnet and I changed the process a little bit and I really thought about the implementation just to change it today as I record this. Now, part of this is the burden of knowledge. I know what is possible, and so I create or I build interesting, creative, but sometimes overcomplicated things. And part of it is the tension of wanting to launch quickly with the phrase I've been saying for a long time: do it once and do it right. Ideally, when I build something, I don't want to have to go rebuild it later because that takes time. Rushing to pick a platform or a tool is going to take time. The problem is I spend a bunch of time implementing and then usually have to change something anyway. The truth is that there needs to be some balance. Occam's razor is another idea I think about all the time. It's oft quoted as the simplest solution is the right one or the best one. But it's actually more nuanced than that. It's that our solutions to problems should be constructed with the smallest possible set of elements. You can see how one would jump from that to the simplest solution is the best one. But again, that's not entirely true. It's actually the smallest possible set of elements. And when I'm trying to do it once and do it right, while trying to do it with the smallest possible set of elements, there is a tension there. But something that I need to remember, that you need to remember as you're building out your systems, is that when we build online, very little is permanent. Yes, something you tweeted near 20 years ago could resurface at any moment. But the system you build can be iterated on. It's not like building a skyscraper. Iteration is our friend. I'm really good at doing that part for other people. Let's get you set up as quickly and as easily as possible in a way that's not going to overwhelm you. But I need to be better about doing it for myself. I am not scared of the systems and I like experimenting, and that could lead to over-engineering and ultimately me focusing too much on the implementing part in a way where it becomes a blocker. So that's what I'm thinking about this week. I would love your thoughts on that. If you go to streamlinedfeedback.com, you can write into the show. But let's move on to recommended reading. This is an article from FanGraphs called The Haters All-Star Game. I'm a huge baseball fan, and I love watching both the Home Run Derby and the All-Star Game. There's a bit of pomp and circumstance for me, if I'm being honest. I love watching the opening ceremonies, even though this year it was like a Vince McMahon's wet dream. But I really love watching the All-Star Game. I'm going to have to probably put an explicit warning on that now, sorry. I really enjoy watching those things. It's cool to see the best professional baseball players come together and have fun and celebrate their accomplishments in what is a very long season. It's also cool because it's different from playing with your everyday team, right? And so It's cool to see the chemistry and how they show up for each other. Even though once the season resumes, there may be bitter rivalries, right? The rivalries are for the fans. Players should not hate each other because of the team that they're on. Now, as a New Yorker living near Philly and a lover of the game, something bothered me this year about the All-Star Game and the Home Run Derby, and it was seeing Philadelphia Phillies fans boo all of the non-Phillies players. This is supposed to be a jovial celebration of the best in the game, the best and brightest. And of course, Philly, the city that threw batteries at Santa Claus, couldn't abide by that. The reason I like this article I'm linking, the Haters All-Star Game, is because it got me thinking, should that annoy me? Isn't Philly just being Philly? It didn't seem to annoy my guy Ben Rice, or Home Run Derby winner Jordan Walker, or even William Contreras, someone who famously gets annoyed by everything. The dude starts more fights than Conor McGregor. That's why I really liked this article. It showed me that as much as I remind people that professional athletes get paid to play a game, I need to remember that the fans are going to be the fans. And for Philly, that means doggedly defending your home from outsiders, even if, like in the case of Gritty, you originally agreed with those outsiders. You've got to protect your own. So I really like that article. Love to Philly fans. They're very nice to me outside the city, which is where I live. All right. Now for something fun. If you watched or listened to last week's episode, you might be thinking the Odyssey again. Joe, you recommended the Odyssey last week. And that is true, but this is the Odyssey in 1 minute. I'm so excited for this movie, especially after finishing the book earlier this month. And in a way only Jimmy Fallon and The Tonight Show can do, the cast came together to tell the entire story of the Odyssey in exactly 60 seconds in dactylic hexameter, which is the melody of the epic poem, right? That's like how the Iliad and the Odyssey would have been orally performed. It is so dope, and I have listened to it 1,000 times. Love it. Highly recommend it. Watch it 1,000,000 times. Don't be surprised if next week I recommend the Odyssey, the movie again. I'll try, much like House of the Dragon, to not keep recommending it. All right, and now of the week. The automation of the week this week is hunting down opt-ins with Claude. As I mentioned in On My Mind, I've been spending a lot of time on my mailing list and how it delivers my vast amount of lead magnets and content. I also have tons of opt-in pages across multiple websites, and as I have been reworking my lead magnets, my welcome sequence, my delivery mechanisms, I don't want any of those pages or forms or automations to lead to a dead end. So instead of doing a hand-done audit, I uploaded exports of all of my pages from my websites, any redirects I had from both the website, like I have a plugin for my WordPress sites, as well as switchy.io, my redirect service. I uploaded all of those and all of the forms on my website to Claude. And I cross-referenced all of those things with the Kit MCP so that Claude can see what I've got going on in my account. I even had it because the MCP doesn't expose Kit automations. And so I also had Claude go out to the browser and have a look at all of my automation. And I got a full report on active forms, the ones that are working well, and all of the pages where the opt-ins live. I also got a list of the canonical pages and then redirects to those pages, which are usually, if I go on a podcast or give a talk, I will redirect to a page with information about the talk. So I was able to direct, delete, and consolidate, and now Kit is squeaky clean. I have a better understanding of how everything is delivered, and it's just a lot cleaner. This would have been an incredibly time-consuming for me, or expensive task for my VA without Claude. It's been incredible seeing what insights and data I can grab thanks to the connectors and automation tools that exist within the LLM. And that's why this is my automation of the week. It wasn't I set this up and now it's going to run routinely, but it was here's all of the data that I have, sift through it so that I don't have to sift through it. That is another form of automation, and it was hugely helpful in this instance. All of this let me focus my time where it matters most, helping you build better systems so you can step away from your business without worrying. And because I was able to free up some time, thanks to Claude, over the past week, I took most of the afternoon off to see my daughter perform. She went to theater camp for the last 2 weeks, and they had a end of camp performance. And I felt comfortable stepping away for that time so I could fully be present because I was able to do the work I had to get done. But that's it for this episode of the Streamlined Solopreneur and the Friday Wrap. If you enjoyed this, consider joining my newsletter at streamlined.fm/wrap. You'll get insights and thoughts and ideas about how to build better systems for yourself so that you can confidently step away from your business without worrying. Thanks so much for listening, and until next time, I hope you find some space in your weekend.